Boobs. Welcome back to my channel, you guys. I am so excited to talk about this topic today because mostly on any given day, I'm just thinking about boobs. And I think we should talk about this. But first of all, we have to address a very serious issue. Can I pull off lip liner or not? I think that the answer is actually no. And I've been trying to fight that for a very long time because lip liner is everything right now. Everyone seems to be in their Latina passing era. Lana Del Rey showed up at Coachella looking absolutely fabulous. And half of that reason is because her lip liner was stunning. Okay, let's get freaking serious for a second, guys. Today we're talking about whether or not I should get a boob job. But first, I think I'm gonna fix my lips because... Okay, I just took up the lip liner and I'm feeling like $1,000,000 all over again. Oh my god, it's recording. Let's get real, y'all. This isn't rocket science. Everybody knows that boobs are hot, okay? Y'all have been trying to trick me, but I've caught on. Boobs are hot, boobs are fun, boobs are cool. And I just wish that I had boobs. And I've honestly been considering getting a boob job since I was like 13 years old. Looking down in the shower every day being like, when are they gonna come? They're not here, they haven't come. And yes, I know that it's very embarrassing to admit that I think about boobs this much, but after a lifetime of insecurity and fixation on boobs, I think it'll feel good to get this off my chest a little bit. Off my chest. And talk about the pros and cons, why I want one, why I think it's actually a good idea not to get one. If I'm being completely honest and we're using our skills of logic and reasoning, yeah, it's maybe not the best idea in the whole world, but it is incredibly tempting. So let's get into it. I think at this point in my life, I've simultaneously come to an intersection of belief systems when it comes to boobs, in which I simultaneously think that my big brain on my body can get me to a point where I'm like, okay, it's not actually that deep. Like, I don't need plastic surgery to feel good about myself. And getting plastic surgery definitely won't fix like inner feelings of insecurity. And if I do end up getting a boob job, I'll probably wake up and be like, okay, what can I pick apart next on my body? Oh great, now I'm actually 27 and my face is starting to sag and now I want Botox and like fillers and like, I don't know, maybe it'll just open up a can of worms in that whole world. But then at the same time, and this is where the intersection is, I'm like, maybe it's not that deep and I should just like change my body in this way that I've wanted to change ever since I could basically like stand up and breathe and walk around. So yes, in this video I am going to attempt an in-depth psychoanalysis of my own flatness. And you guys can look forward to such things as me tackling hard-hitting truths, such as, how have I been treated in the world by men with no boobs? How am I a threat and simultaneously not a threat to other women because of the way that my body looks? Is it okay to be hot in some ways, but not all of them? So, when I first started conceptualizing the idea for this video, I was 100% sure that I was going to get a boob job, whether that was putting silicone in my body or getting fat transfer. And I kind of wanted to make a YouTube video justifying my decision and feeling like, oh my gosh, after so many years of trying to convince myself that like my body is enough and I don't need to change myself to love myself, I was kind of like, screw it, like what if I'm actually just gonna be happier if I do change myself, because then I don't have to keep thinking about it. Even though I do have really good days where I feel confident, I think ever since I went through puberty, it's been an almost constant topic in my mind, and it's something that I think about every single time I look in the mirror. It's pretty much impossible for me to be naked looking at myself in the mirror without wishing that I had bigger boobs. And I don't think that I don't know if there ever will come a time where I'm able to look at myself and be like, wow, perfect, hot, like that's how I want my body to look. I think even if I do eventually come to a point where I'm not like brutally insecure about it, it's always going to be something that I wish was different. To be honest, it's getting annoying. But since coming up with a concept for this video and doing a bunch of research into breast augmentation surgery and hearing people's stories, and I'm not quite so sold on the idea anymore. Okay, let's go back to the beginning. When I was in high school, basically all I could think about every day was wanting bigger boobs. I would be in the locker room in cross country and my friends would be putting on their sports bras and their boobs would be bouncing around, and like I was so jealous. Like I was reading my diary from senior year of high school the other day and all I could talk about was like, oh, I have a crush on this guy, but like I could never see myself actually hooking up with him or hooking up with anyone or showing my body to anyone because I don't want anyone seeing how small my boobs are. And I was just constantly comparing my body to other girls. I was seeing the world through boob-colored lenses, if you will. Ugh, and like, it's honestly kind of painful for me to talk about because my life has been so amazing in so many ways and I'm incredibly blessed in so many ways. And it's just kind of annoying to think about how much of my mental energy has been consumed by wanting bigger boobs. Like, this is ridiculous, guys. But it's the truth. And the truth must be told. So I went through high school wishing I had bigger boobs. And I never got past first base, baby. And by the time that senior year came around, I started to do extensive research on boob jobs. And I basically told myself that I wasn't going to hook up with anyone or let anyone see what was going on here until I got a boob job. My plan was to get plastic surgery before freshman year of college. And I got my first serving job when I was 18. And I saved enough money to undergo this surgery. And my plan was to use the money to get a freaking boob job. But of course, what happened after the summer after freshman year of high school? College. And my mommy told me, okay, if you want to go to college, hand over the $7,000 that you spent the whole summer saving, and we're using that for tuition, babe. So I had to choose between furthering my education and getting a boob job. And I'm glad to say that I did choose college. And I think that was the right choice. Okay, so how did I compensate for having the small boobs? What is the cheaper option to plastic surgery? The cheaper option is going to Victoria's Secret and buying silicone. It wasn't even like chicken cutlets. These were like basically silicone pouches. And it was essentially the equivalent of what they would put inside of your body if you were to get a boob job. So I was like, okay, perfect. I'm just gonna rock and roll with these babies. And if you look back at pictures of when I'm like 18, 19, it looks like I have a solid B cup going on. Like, I showed my boyfriend pictures from when I was 19. He was like, what the heck was going on? Like, did you just grow boobs for a year? No, I got creative, okay? I got resourceful. But then came the day when I did get a boyfriend and we got a little intimate. When I was 19, I was dating this guy. He was a cutie patootie, he was a sweetie pie. And naturally, things progressed as they do. We were in his college dorm at Northeastern College one night and I was drunk. And I was like, I'm ready to let this get a little crazy. I'm ready to let this go a little farther than I've ever let it go before. And I'll never forget us being in his dorm, sophomore year of college. He takes off my shirt. I'm wearing a Victoria's Secret push-up bra, B cup, I'm a double A, with the silicone inserts inside. My heart is pounding because I'm like, this boy is in for a world of surprise. He takes off my bra, my boobs come tumbling down. There's nothing left inside it. There's nothing left to see. I basically proceed to have a panic attack and I'm like probably the most humiliated I've ever been. And I'm starting to think to myself, I should have just gone no bra today. Like, that would have been so much less embarrassing to be like, to lay it all out and be like, actually this is just what we have going on, as opposed to making it seem like I had a C going on. And he takes off my bra, out come my boobs onto the floor, tumbling down into a miserable little pile. So I'm apologizing. I'm so embarrassed. I'm like, oh my God. He was honestly very sweet about it. And I'll never forget, he said something along the lines of, Carolyn, like, I like you for your amazing personality and you happen to be beautiful. Thank God, because that could have gone really badly. So that ended up being okay, but at the same time, it was annoying that I had, like, instead of having this moment of hooking up with my boyfriend for the first time and being so, like, excited to, like, show my beautiful, youthful body, I was, like, having a panic attack and miserable and, like, on the verge of tears. Oh, it's so annoying. I'm just craving that feeling of, like, taking off my shirt and I have this sexy, lacy bra and, like, my boobs just look so good and, like, someone's, like, I just want to see a look of, like, awe in someone's eyes when they take off my shirt and not a look of disappointment. You know what I mean? Oh my God. For the past few years, I actually was in a place where I was, like, less fixated on my boobs because I was only hooking up with women for about 4 years. And I don't know, girl, there's just something, like, less terrifying about the judgment of girls as opposed to men. And that's not even to say that, like, the men that I've been intimate with have made me feel bad. Like, they've actually made me feel pretty good, and my boyfriend now has always, like, made me feel really beautiful, but just the act of being perceived by a woman is just so much less terrifying. And even though my boyfriend does make me feel so beautiful, I can't get out of my head the thought of, like, all the other girls that he's seen naked before and like how many amazing pairs of boobs he's seen. Okay, now that you guys know the ins and outs of the most brutal insecurities that lay within my soul, I'm gonna talk about why I actually don't think I will get a boob job and why I think it's radically crucial for me to not get a boob job. I don't know if y'all are aware, but as a collective, we've come to a point where people are not able to just like have flaws. Science has regressed to the point where like having flaws is no longer part of what we see on a day-to-day basis because of social media. It's becoming increasingly infuriating to me. And I need to pay attention into the ways that I'm walking through the world and either contributing or fighting against this narrative. Because personally, I love when people aren't perfect. I don't want everyone to have like a Kendall Jenner body and like a nose job and like lip filler. In fact, it does something to my brain when I can tell people have had like a plastic surgery. I don't register them as beautiful anymore. My brain just registers it as plastic surgery. So I'm like, why would I want to join them if I'm like so mad about it? And if I don't resonate with that? I think that part of being a human being is that we're all different, and in being different, like it's fun and interesting that way. For everyone to come together and merge into like the same face, same body, perfect tits, like it's boring, I don't know. And I look at my friends and like their maybe flaws, and I'm like, oh, maybe that's like literally my favorite part about them. Or I don't know, I love the way that individual people look, and I love all of our quirky differences and everything. And specifically when it comes to boobs, I think that there's such a thing as little booby swag. Let me explain. I was discussing this theory with my little sister the other day. As a person, it is crucial to recognize the source of your swag. We all have a certain authentic vibe that is just native to us, and it's hard to put your finger on it. Like, girls out there that pull off big boobs, like that is true to them. Sydney Sweeney, like that's her swag, like that's her vibe. The source of my swag is just like having small boobs. And I can think of many examples of celebrities who had little booby swag and then got a boob job. And honestly, like if you look at before and after pictures, they're kind of less hot now because it's almost like they went against their natural assets, like their natural beauty. I don't know if it necessarily makes them less attractive, but it kind of makes them less interesting. Particularly Kate Hudson in the early 2000s when she's in all those, like, some of my favorite rom-com movies. How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. Almost Famous is one of my favorite movies of all time. She is unbelievably gorgeous, and her boobs are, like, the same size as mine. And for a long time, that was, like, a huge comfort to me. Because I'm like, oh my gosh, look at this absolutely gorgeous woman slaying and pulling off, like, itty-bitty titty committee. And killing it. And then she got a boob job and like, yeah, now she has nice boobs, but like, she kind of went against the source of her swag, you know? So that's my opinion on that. One reason I know that I just don't have big boob swag, like I have little boob swag, anytime I've brought up the subject of whether or not I should get a boob job to my close friends or family, they're just like, absolutely not. They don't get why I would want one. They don't think I would look better with one. Even one of my good friends who got a boob job looks amazing with her boob job. When I was like, oh, maybe I want to get a boob job, she freaked out. She was like, Carolyn, like, you would be fundamentally betraying who you are as a person if you got a boob job. I was like, but why can you pull it off and I can't? And she was like, because I have like a bimbo, like hotness, like that's who she is. And she's right, like she looks amazing with her boob job. And I wouldn't want to have it any other way for her because like, that's just kind of her category of attractiveness. But I appreciated that she was able to take a bird's eye view and give me an honest opinion instead of just like convincing me to get one just because she got one. Yeah, like when I bring it up to my sisters, my mom, they're like, for the love of God, don't do that. It's like maybe they're onto something. Okay, another reason why it's probably a really bad idea is getting a little bit older. I'm more interested in the way that I feel as opposed to the way that I look. I'm more interested in the way that I'm perceiving the world and experiencing the world as opposed to the way the world is perceiving me. And getting a boob job is like a really good example of why that would be like betraying that idea. Because even if I didn't get some weird side effects like mental illness
Or, I don't know, women are coming forward with all these sorts of crazy side effects from boob jobs, or like, I don't know, getting scar tissue, or there's so much that could go wrong. When they put them in, it's gonna feel heavy, it's gonna be painful. It's not like, I can jump around, dance around, I can do anything I want. And like, my body feels really amazing, and I'm very fortunate to have like a healthy, functioning body. And babe, I don't even have health insurance. Like, I'm literally a bartender. I don't need to be jeopardizing my health and like sacrificing my health for the way that I look. Like, I'm 27 years old, what am I doing? I should be worried about saving to buy a house. I should be worried about like how I'm gonna provide for my children one day. Like, I don't need boobs, okay? Okay, so honestly, I might change my mind next week, because at the end of the day, do I wish I was born with a B cup? Duh. Was I born with a B cup? No. Do I have plenty of other things to bring to this world and far more important things to focus on in my lifetime? Absolutely. And I think it's important for me to acknowledge the fact that like, I am very privileged in many ways, and I'm blessed with many gifts. Frankly, like, not having big boobs has never really been a deterrent in my life. And I'm kind of grateful for like the way that honestly I'm like treated by the world. I feel like I am treated in a way that feels respectful. This is annoying, like all women should be treated with respect. But I do remember in high school my mom talking to me and saying like, Carolyn, I know you're really upset that you don't have boobs, but you probably will be like treated in a far more respectful way by men because of it. I don't know, like, I don't know what my life would be like if I had had boobs, but my life has been pretty freaking amazing, and I have so much to be grateful for. And I just want to set a precedent and like bring an energy into the world of just like not being so worried and bothered and obsessed with like the way that our bodies look. It's actually boring. I don't know. Our bodies are literally decaying by the second. Who gives a shit? I just want to have fun and like focus on other things. I don't know, guys. I hope this was helpful if you're also someone struggling with like whether or not you should get a boob job and feeling the conflicting feelings. As much as I say this, like, if there was no chances of any side effects and it was cheap and easy to get a B cup, like, I would do it in a freaking heartbeat. But maybe it's for the best that it's not simple, and maybe like altering our appearances like is actually a big deal, and maybe it's not the answer to happiness. So thanks for listening, guys. I love you. You're beautiful. Say bye to these girls. I guess they'll just have to do for now. Or for forever. We'll see. Love you guys. Bye.